I've been saying this for years, but it's pretty much confirmed. Zach Wilson sucks. Going into the season, Aaron Rodgers was their guy. But as fate happened, Rodgers tore his Achilles in week 1 after only playing 4 snaps. He didn't even complete a pass with the Jets before he was sidelined. But after trading away Mike White to the Dolphins in the offseason, Zach Wilson was their only option at quarterback. And he wasn't even that bad. Some could say he actually looked pretty good. In that week 1 game, Zach Wilson took over for Rodgers and led his team to a 22-16 upset against an elite Buffalo Bills team. In that game, Wilson threw 140 yards with 1 touchdown and only 1 interception. Now, that's not anything to brag about, but it's still a decent performance from someone that usually sucks. But the next game was totally different. Zach Wilson had the starting role going into week 2 against the Cowboys, and he completely blew it, throwing 1 touchdown on 3 interceptions, losing 30-10. Now that's the Zach Wilson we're used to seeing, right? No! In the following weeks, Zach Wilson stayed competitive against the almighty Chiefs, only losing by 3 points in an extremely close game. And a couple weeks later, he led his team to giving the Eagles their first loss of the season, winning 20-14. That was 2 weeks ago, and for the past 2 weeks, he's just looked horrible. Just this week, when he faced off against the Chargers on Monday Night Football, Zach Wilson and the Jets lost by an embarrassing 21 points. And this was a very mediocre, if not bad, Chargers defense. Now, I don't want to go around saying that the Jets suck because they don't. They're actually a pretty solid team with a decent offense in Garrett Wilson, Bryce Hall, Allen Lazard, and many others. Not to mention they have a top 10 defense with a scary defensive line and an elite secondary. It just seems like Zach Wilson's play completely affects how the Jets do as a team. If he has a decent game, the Jets stay competitive. If he has a bad game, they're losing by 20 points. But when Zach Wilson is having a good game, they're just completely unstoppable on both sides of the ball. From what I see, the Jets are one solid quarterback away from potentially making it to the Super Bowl. But who could that quarterback be? I don't really think Aaron Rodgers is the answer. Even if he was healthy, I don't think he would be as good as he's been in previous seasons. On top of that, Rodgers is just old, and it only took 4 plays for him to have a season-ending injury. The Jets need a long-term quarterback. I think a perfect fit would be someone who's young, mobile, and willing to take a hit since the Jets have a struggling O-line. They need to find someone that can make the easy throws with the capability of throwing the long ball when necessary. A dream quarterback for the Jets would be someone like Brock Purdy, Josh Allen, or CJ Stroud with the way he's been playing lately. But who could they really get? Taking the chance and trading for the Cowboys' third-string quarterback Trey Lance wouldn't be a bad idea. While he isn't some all-star quarterback, he's a young, mobile quarterback who hasn't got much of a chance yet. He played a couple games in place of Jimmy Garoppolo in his rookie year, then he started his second year as the starter, where he had a decent couple of performances before he had a season-ending ankle injury. Other than a few games, he hasn't had much of a chance to prove himself yet. Someone like Trey Lance could be a great fit for the young Jets team. On top of that, they probably wouldn't have to give up that much to get Trey Lance, maybe a few draft picks at most. If the Jets are looking for someone to maybe give them a few years, then Aaron Rodgers could be the answer. So could a few free agents. Maybe this season it would be a good idea to give Cam Newton or Matt Ryan a call, as funny as that sounds. But they could take over until Rodgers is ready, or maybe Rodgers won't be ready at all. I just don't think Zach Wilson will be the guy to take them into the playoffs, which they have a very good chance of making it to. All in all, it's pretty obvious Zach Wilson will never be a good starting quarterback, but I wouldn't rip on him too much. He's still a decent quarterback that can do a lot more than most backups in the league. And in the future, I think Zach Wilson will jump around from team to team in the league, being a solid backup ready to take over whenever he's needed. But no more than that. But who knows? Maybe he'll do great someday on the next team he's on. But right now, it's pretty obvious Zach Wilson sucks.